Okay, so now we'll try to link the other pages and see if we can how we can do the same header and the same footer for all our pages, so that when we are moving from home to about us to services to courses to personal blog, we don't want to see any change in this head, and we don't want to see any change in this footer. We want it to always be like this New York or this Stockholm, New York should be there and nothing more. So how do we achieve that? So normally, let me try to explain something. Normally, when you are building a website, okay, we used to create a base template. So the base template, all that will be there will be the header and the footer. Okay, and how do I change the color for this drawer? Okay. Yeah. And this place will be the content, and that will be what will be changing. So as you are moving from home to about us, so it is only things in yellow that will be changing, whereas all the other things that you have in the footer and the header will be constant. So in other words, when I have move on to about us page, I still want to see my header as the same, and only the content in the about us that will change. So this is my home or my index page. This is my about us. So that's the concept. Okay. So how do we achieve that? Because I'm teaching us with Visual Studio Code, it might be difficult to do that. But or maybe I would say I don't know how to do that. Okay, in Visual Studio Code. But if you are using, let's say you are building a server-side applications like you are using Visual Studio, maybe 2017. I think the latest is 2019 now, and you are building like this email application. Okay, so you can actually create they give you the ability to be able to create a template or a layout depending on the framework you are using. So they give you the ability to be able to create that, and why that is open, so that you can easily define your header and your footer. Like for example, here I have in mind, where's my layout? In my views, the shared folder, this is .NET. I have a layout file. Okay, so here I define my header and the footer. And you can see I don't have anything. So this render body is now what all the other pages will fit into going forward. So all these editors allow us to do that. But in Visual Studio, I don't think I know how to do that. Maybe there's a way. So, but we are going to look for a way. And the way is to create a header. Okay, I'm going to create a header HTML. I'm also going to create a footer HTML. And we will now use jQuery, which is a JavaScript framework, to merge it together so that it can work. Okay, so it's just for this class. That's not what you should do professionally if you are building a site for someone. And I'm sure that people that write PHP too, they have a way of doing that. So let's start. So I'll start by creating a file. I'll call it header.html, and I'll go into. I'll also create another one called footer.html. Like I said, disclaimer: this is only just for this class for us to be able to see or mimic what is being done for the header, to standardize the header and the footer. So there's a link I got yesterday that we can copy and paste the code. I saved it somewhere. Yeah, this. So we Googled it and we get something good. So some people already raised this question on Stack Overflow. As a developer, Stack Overflow should be your friend. This is where most of us get answers to the problems that we run into when we're programming. Okay, so but definitely when you just Google, it might bring a solution from here. And this one was solved like 6 years ago. Okay, so it's an old method, but it still works for example that we just want to do. So this is what we'll do. We'll write a script in the head. This is the jQuery. We'll call the jQuery. It's already an online link, so it exists. If you want to find out about that, you can just paste it here. You can see this is jQuery that we need to call. Okay, so now we write a jQuery function. jQuery function starts with $, in case you always see $, and you see JavaScript in it. So this is jQuery. And then we are going to call our header and footer, whereas the remaining sections goes here. Okay, so this is what we are going to implement. So let's start. The first thing we'll do is we will copy out from the home page, which is our index page. We'll copy out the head from there. So I don't need the head. We'll just copy out the header, not cut. I just want to copy it out. So everything in the header, I'll move it to the header HTML. Like I said, don't forget, this is just because we are working, this is a sample. If I want to build a real project, I would not even use Visual Studio Code. I would probably do it in .NET or in Java, Spring Boot or something. Okay, so or maybe Node or something, I don't know. Depending on what you want to do. And that's my header. So this is all I need to put here as the header. Okay, because I know this header is constant. And I have the logo and the image and everything and the menu. So this is fine. Also, I'll do the same thing for the footer. Let me drop this section. Okay, so this is the footer. You don't need to copy all the other things here. Just leave them. Copy the footer and paste it here. So now I have my header and my footer in an HTML. And remember, I did not start the HTML by saying HTML head, body, blah, 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 blah. I did not do all that. Okay, let's see if it will work for us. If it doesn't work, then we might need to add the head and the rest of it. So now we have something in the header and the footer. So what are we going to put in the about? So that means in the about, we will not be calling all these templates in the head. Okay, so our head will be like this. Okay, our head will be like this, and our head here too will delete it. So the only thing we're interested in the about us is the main, because the main is what contains the stuff. So our footer too will delete it, and also delete. No, we shouldn't delete all this CSS. So we can as well have all the CSS in the page. Okay, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll return it, because I think we will need all those scripts. So I have only the main. I remove the head. So if I'm removing all this head stuff, then that means I need to put them in the head. That's what it means. I've returned them, but let's go on. Okay, so now we would apply what was written here. They said we should put a script in the head. In fact, there are two scripts. Let's just copy it. I can send us the link. Let me send the link to this so that if we want to use this sample, let's see how it works. So you can also see this solution online. Okay, so what this script, like I said, is referring to an online jQuery script. Okay, and another script, it's loading the header HTML. It's looking for an header HTML file and loading it into the header. Another one is doing what? Looking for the footer and loading into the footer. So, but we need to create these divs the header and the footer. So let's see what they did in the body. They put it in the body. So that's what they did. So in the body, we put the header where it should be, then the footer should come after the main. Okay, so this is the arrangement. Alt Shift F. So this is it. This is what we expect to have in our About Us. Okay, and I think here we can add our title to show that we are on About Us page. Let's do the sample title we have here. Change this home to About. Okay, there will be a problem with this. The problem I'm seeing that there exists is that in the head, there are so many CSS that we have in index. You can see that we don't have right now. Okay, so that might be a problem. So this our page, this our About page will not load properly, but instead it will load the head, it will load the footer, but it will not conform to the style and the CSS. So let's see that in action. So I'm saving this and I'll go back to my page. Yeah, it's loaded already. You can see from index, and I click on About Us, everything's scattered because it can't see the CSS, but it has put in all those contents. Okay, this is good and beautiful. So let's think of how intelligently we can apply this. So should we say that we should create like, maybe we should move all this CSS to each page, thereby doing what we don't want to do before, or we should create them in the header so that automatically it is seen by the About Us page. Okay, so those are the things we need to consider, but I'm thinking maybe we should do it this way. What do you think I should do? Any ideas? Okay, it will not work. I've seen it will not work. You know why? This header, where we are calling it, when we get to About Us, we are calling it inside the body. And so what is meant to be in the head, we are putting it inside the body. So that will not work. So the only solution is to do this. So I mean, this is not a better solution anyway. But
I have a suggestion.
Yes. Listen.
My suggestion is that we can have an index page, which is we can have an index page, and we just edit the body, and anytime we want to work on another page, we edit that body, but it will be different. It will be the main page, which is the index page, before we have the home page. So anything we want to do for About, for instance, you just edit that one and put it and place it in About, for instance. So we still have everything that we have in the index page, like the footer, the header, and everything. So we just edit that one and just begin to place what we need in, on the body of the page.
Yes, I understand. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. Okay, but I'm saying that it's not the right way, because what you are saying is we should have a page. Let's say I create a page now and I call it base.html. Okay, so I put the header and the footer, right? And I only leave the base for the body. So this is what you are saying I should do. Are you saying I should create, let me copy everything in, let me copy everything in index.
What I mean is that we'll have the index HTML as our base.
Okay, this is the instant HTML. We have built it. Okay.
Yes.
So
we'll
now
have it at our base.
Okay.
To create other pages like the home page, the About page.
Yes.
We have to create the About. We just lift everything from the index page and paste the code on the About page. Then we edit the body and leave
only
the footer.
The main,
the footer will remain.
Yes. So we leave only the main. Yes. Do you know why I don't want to do that? What I thought I want to do is that when I do that, that means all these things, I still have them repeated in every page. I'll have it in about, I'll have it in services, I'll have it in this, I'll have it in that. Do you understand? That's what it means,
Yes.
right? So the only thing that is changing there is this main. Okay, that is what I'm trying to hide from. Like I said, all the other editors like in your Python or your server-side programming and C# and all of that, they give you like a base or a layout, like a base.html, where you just put only the header. Let me show you how it will have looked if it's in a base HTML. So we'll have something like this, and everything in the main would be empty. Let's go up. Okay, so everything from here to here to here to here would be empty. Okay, so we'll now put like something like a div here and say, let's call it div, call it ID, body content. So as we move from page to page, we will inherit this page in, or let's say for example in about. So in about, we'll just inherit this page and only the body content part. Let's say we'll now say only the body content part. Let's say we have body content here. So only the body content part will now be changing. Now we'll now put our main inside the body content. Do you understand? Okay, that's what we would have done if we are using other templates. So what this one will save us is that it is only once that our header libraries and our footer libraries is being accessed. Okay, that's the essence. But now, if we do it the way you said and the way I wanted to do it before, every time we are accessing the page, we are still copying and pasting those files every time, everywhere. So, which is a bad practice here. Okay, but because we are not writing server-side scripting language for now, so we'll just do it this way because this is the only way we can do it. So there will be the repetition. We need to move from page to page. Okay. So having said that, that has defeated the essence of using jQuery. So what's the point of using jQuery at the end of the day? So we don't really need this. We can just go that your way because at the end of the day too, I'm still going to have to repeat each thing I'm doing here on every page. Okay, so it doesn't really make any sense. But let's just see how this works. Okay, let me quickly complete this. I have the end. So every other thing I have in the index, I'm bringing back. This is sad. Okay, so the only thing I've just added is this. The only thing I've added is this. So every other thing is coming back. And in my index, the footer, all these ones too, the jQuery and the stuff, they're all coming back. And that's the body. They exist after the footer. Okay. So that means the only thing I've extracted out is only my footer side and the header side. Those are the only two things. Let me remove this body content. So that means the only thing that is missing that I didn't take from index is the header and the footer. Do anybody understand what I've done before we continue? See my page now. Let's look at, let me explain again. Let's look at index. Index has head. Let's be breaking it down. It has body. And okay. So now in the body, we have the head. Can we see the header? Sorry. We have different sections and the main, and then we have the footer. In the footer, it has a lot of things. So all I did is that I copied out this footer. I created a page called HTML footer, and I copied and pasted it there. Okay. Then I came to the header and copied everything in the header. I created a page called header.html and pasted everything here. So that, but what I did not do is that all the other things in the head, not the header now, in the head of my page, I did not touch them. Okay. So when I'm creating another page, the only thing I will not create is this header and this footer. Every other thing, the head and all the other things down there, that means I'll need to replicate them here. And that's what I've done. So only my header is what I did not move, and only my footer is what I did not move. So which is also the same thing as Victor said. What Victor said is that we have a page like this. I want to try out the tool so that we can understand. So it says we have, okay, let's copy it again. Everything in the index, you should create it here. Okay, so now the only thing that will now be changing will be the main. So now this time around, we have the head, we have the header here, the header is here, the sections, the main, the footer, everything is here. Okay, so this is like our template. So it's now saying, if for example, I want to create a services page now, I'll come here and say services.html. Okay, so I'll copy everything in that base. I'll paste it in services. I'll now remove the main. Victor, if I'm wrong, please tell me. Where's the main? So I will now remove everything in the main.
You are right.
Okay. So, like that. So now, the next thing I'll now do is I'll now go to services page. Where is our template? Where's services? Let me open it. And look for main. Yes, everything in this main is what I'll copy. But let me remove the main here so that I can just paste everything. Okay, so I have my service page. Victor, this is what you're saying, right? So now I have my service page. So, but what I was trying to avoid is that all this head, all these references and all that is I'm copying the same thing I have here, is the same thing I have in index, the same thing I have in about us and all the other page. I don't want that. I want it to just be in one page called the base page. Okay, so that every other page does not have it. So that's my idea, and I realize that I can't do it here, or maybe I don't know how to do it here. But if you are using Visual Studio or you are using your Dreamweaver for PHP and the rest of them, you can actually use the server-side code to implement a template for you. So let's just get that distinction. So now we have done this thing in two ways. Our About Us page is using jQuery to import the header part and the footer part like this. But our services page is doing what? Is using the template style that Victor taught us. So let's look at the two and see how they work well. Okay, but before we do that, when we go to index, index, where is index? Yes, this is index. Let's go to header and link our service. Okay, services.html. So it's linked already. Okay, let's see. Let's refresh. Let me go back to home. This is the home, right? I click, look at the header, look at the footer. It's okay, this is our standard. I go to About Us. Can you see my header? Can you see my footer? The same thing, right? This one is coming from the main, so don't bother about this one. So I go to services. Do you understand? So now this is the Victor style. So that means in our base, whatever, we also need to remove carousel because we don't need carousel on services, but every other page is still working well, and we have our footer too. So whichever way, this page About Us is using the jQuery way to import this header and to import this footer, okay? But services is not using jQuery. Services is just using what we copied from the index to import everything apart from the content that we changed, okay? So whatever style you think works for you, use it. And then, but like I said, both these styles are not professional. You need a server side, especially when you want to start want to write an application that can submit to database and the rest of it. So you need a server side scripting languages like Python, your Java and C# and the rest of them, PHP also. I even wanted to teach us something on PHP, but I could not get PHP server to work on Visual Studio Code. So that's why I ignored it. Else we will have just tried to submit this form and see what the response will be with PHP. Okay, so this is how we are going to end the lecture for today. I want to thank you all for your time. If you have any questions now, you can tell me. I can push this to our GitHub page or GitHub repository if you want to have this and just continue. Or you can try out a new template yourself by Googling and getting how to use the template and designing a website. Any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any question?
My question is, how do we manage the information from the forms and other content? For example, register form. How do we manage, how does it come to us? How do we manage those forms after designing the?
Yeah, so you need a server-side, what's it called, language to help you with the form, okay, when you want to register. Right now, we can steal a JavaScript code that will just collect what we have here, collect what we have here. When you click on submit, it will just show you down here. But when you want to really use it, you need something like PHP to help you out with that, okay? Let me try to load something before time goes. We still have 5 minutes. Open recent. Let's open this workspace. Yes, you can see PHP is a server-side scripting language that you can use to print the content of the form. But unfortunately, I've not installed the main PHP stuff to work on my page, so I can't run this code. So for example, but let me use this to explain. This is your HTML page, but for you to be able to use PHP, you just name the file as .php, okay? So, but every other thing inside it is HTML, so don't get that wrong, okay? So now, after doing that, PHP syntax is you start with this question mark PHP and you end it with this question mark PHP. But why PHP is very good for the web is that it is flexible. You can embed HTML in between these tags. So for example, we have a form. Look at this form. All the form is doing is accepting name and location and submit. Okay, this is what I was looking for that I wanted to paste. Okay, so that's all it's doing. But we are saying that when you submit, remember the method post is post. When you submit it, just echo this out. And on the page, on the same page, it will tell you form submitted successfully. And it will print out your name and it will print out your location. Okay, so if at the end of the day, you don't want to print it out, just want to send it to database, this is where you write the code that will send it to database using PHP. But this if condition, what is this if condition is saying? If condition is saying that if this text has value, has been set or has been submitted, you have entered something and you have clicked on post, and this one to have value, that's when you should show this, else show the form. So when the person loads, when the user loads the page at first, it's only this form that will be showing, you won't see anything. But when you click on submit and save, then this part of your code shows. So you can use your if construct to embed your PHP code. And this shows the beginning and end of your PHP code. Another PHP code begins here and ends here. So enabling you to have your if-else construct. If-else opening braces block, closing block, else closing braces block, closing block. So PHP is kind of easier and simple, but it's tricky. But I need to install maybe XAMPP or all this PHP, whatever, to my system before I can run this code. Okay, so these are the things you need to be able to save or send or submit your forms. Do you understand, Victor? So in Visual Studio, we have
Yes,
other
thank
ways. Yeah, we have other ways we do it. Like for example, let me show you the code I just opened. Okay, so while I'm trying to open that, I'm going to push this to Visual Studio. Question: when do you integrate back APIs with the front end? Can you explain further? I don't understand your question.
I think like when you have backend APIs ready for you to, and you've developed your front-end code, and you want
Okay. Like your APIs. Okay, so this is how,
exactly.
yeah, this is how you do it. You build your APIs, and you remember when we were doing Node, it explained to us how we can create a server, whatever, and then when you send a post, you see your message online and all that. So
Yeah.
you just have to create an object that can serialize and deserialize using JSON. So that means when the API, you call the API returns values to you as JSON. So you write your own code that when you receive this JSON, convert it to an object. Maybe it's returning JSON list of students. So you need to have created an object class of students and write a code, a backend code that can convert that JSON from value attributes or attribute values to the object. It might not be clear to you now, but that's what you need to do. Okay. I quickly want
Okay.
to say that
Okay.
before my time goes on, please, the assignment is that you should build a website for Developers College. We started it, complete it, let it have all these pages and let them link. You see, we linked ours. It's not working again because I've closed it in Visual Studio. So build something and submit to Developers College svgs@gmail.com. Okay, I will still send us a mail, but it's not compulsory. You may decide not to do it. It's not, we're not forcing anybody. Okay. Any more questions? We have less than 1 minute. When is the deadline? 2 weeks time. 2 weeks Friday. Okay, this lecture is going to end now. I want to show us something quickly before it ends. There's our submit button. Okay, see the way .NET is doing its own. We are calling this code, and this code is on the server. We'll find all. Let's go to this code. So this is the code that we are using to save to this.